we're back. Maybe we're back. I don't know if we're back. Hi everybody. I hope you're watching this. My apologies. I don't know what the fuck. We literally I use the internet all day and there are no problems. Um, but yeah, I'm back, and my apologies for that. Got disconnected. Folks that were watching the archive later on YouTube, you just saw me be annoyed. That's it. That's all you saw. So my apologies for that. Hopefully we won't get disconnected again. Uh, but hey, welcome 40. But yeah, I've been running into some connection issues. I'm really hoping that it's not my router because I don't want to buy a new router for the house because that would be bad to have to spend that money. Um, it could be a couple things. It could be the router. It could just be that Twitch sucks. It could also maybe be my wireless booster. I might on Saturday, instead of using my wireless booster, I might just use the regular old wireless. Right now, I am Ethernet wired into a signal booster that you know does some magic, but I have a wired connection to a wireless booster that then goes to the wireless because unfortunately I cannot run wired to this room. But it's okay. It'll be fine. Um, my view numbers keep. Maybe I'm gonna just assume tonight, right now. Um, yeah, our router was dying and we had to get a replacement last month. We did notice different stuff. Yeah, I have to look to see the last time I bought a router for this house. The last time I bought a router for my folks. I don't know when that was, so it's probably been a while, and maybe it's time to get a new one. Um, Also, it might be Twitch because my view numbers keep jumping from like 5 to 11 to 20, like repeatedly. So it might also just be like Twitch planned for not E3 and then not E3 happened and Twitch was like, "Oh, what are we doing?" Oh, also, I made myself bigger in the intro. In this screen, I made myself larger and I take up now more of the screen. I don't know why I did a little version of me because I can still do the sub goals if I need to have the sub goals. We're currently at 48 out of 40 subscribers. So I can still do that and still put important things up there. I don't know why I was small, but I was, and now I'm not. Anyway, let's go to the overhead in a moment. I'm going to reply to my own tweet, see if we can get a few more friends to come hang out with us. Just like let people know, hey, reminder, this is happening. Now we'll go to the overhead. There's the overhead. We're working on the Lamborghini Countach. We got started with it on Monday, and now we are returning to our kit here. You can see we got some of the frame done. I have all the parts off screen. Separated and kind of organized so I can hopefully easily find them, separated by color, and then kind of stacked together like something like this. Just put these two together so that easily if I look for a red one of these, I can find it hopefully fairly quickly and I'm not wasting your damn time. Um, and then I'm just going to go through and then we'll fix mistakes that we have. There are quite a few decals for this kit, but they all go on. I think once we get the actual frame together, we start putting a lot of white parts on here. Then we'll have to cover those white pieces with decals. That's the worst way to say that. Decals or decals. You don't say decals. I appreciate how well square the chassis is at the moment on the grid. Yes, this is very like obviously like we got curved parts here and there, but the frame is just going to be piles of 1x4s, in various versions of it, just kind of doing their thing. All right, so this is going to go like that. No, that is not how that goes. That goes like this. Got it. This angle was a little weird. Oh, also, I didn't talk about this on Monday, but I want to point this out. Here's the normal colors. Look at this page. Look at page 21. They're orange instead of red. It's just on this page. Every other page is the right colors. But on this page, Lego fucked up. That's really weird. I didn't even notice it the first time. I happened to notice it because I had turned the page back. And I was like, wait, why is that orange? How fucking weird is that? Like, Lego has like a page wrong in one of their booklets. This is very odd. It's something I am not accustomed to. I was very surprised when I saw that. I was like, what the hell? But, I mean, it doesn't affect anything, but it's strange. It's an oddity, I'll say. Obviously, it doesn't affect build quality or performance or anything like that. But it is a weird bit of business. They ran out of red ink on that page. Yeah, I guess. It got left in the sun. Yeah, it just aged a little bit. You know, they're just getting it ready for everybody. Okay, so that's gonna go like that. That's gonna go like that because that way it leaves 2 over. Great. And we'll do the same thing on the other page, or the other side of it. Okay. So we're obviously going to talk about video games tonight, right? Weird, I know. When do we ever talk about video games? But there are a couple of quick hits that I want to do before we get into video games, because there are going to be some video game. There's going to be some video game talk, and it's going to be the majority of this hour. We'll be talking about video games. So before we get into that, video games. I want to start this by talking about wrestling and sharing news that many of you know from yesterday, but I have in the past, I will in the future on these streams chat about the passing of a professional wrestler when that occurs. And so tonight I will just take a moment to honor the life and legacy of the Iron Sheik. He did pass away. He was an amateur. He had been an amateur wrestler before he got into professional wrestling. He could work. He was a legit fighter. By all accounts, just like a wonderfully weird person. Just phenomenally odd on the microphone. With no interest in doing anything there. A perennial heel, even in his retirement years, certainly. He was just a complete and wonderful oddity. In later years, a duo, I believe they are brothers, pitched him on a social media presence, which he agreed to, which would go on to give him, let's say, a third career, you know, because he had his wrestling career, he had businesses after that and gyms and various entrepreneurial projects. But the social media climb that he had, which was in no small part to this pair of brothers representing him, led to him having a resurgence and making appearances on places, and he got to up his quality of life by suddenly being in the public conscience because he had people share. Now, this is a combination of like promotion, things that would, things that were references, like, you know how you have somebody just be like, you have someone like Roseanne Barr tweet like Fortnite? ? Because like they don't know what that is, but they know they should like at least try to engage. Like at some point, someone's just going to be like, "Hey, followers, tell me everything I need to know about BTS because I want to know more about these handsome young men." And you're like, "All right, yeah." So I'm sure plenty of times it would be like, well, what would the Iron Sheik think about what's happening in the news? Well, he would tell them to be humble, and then he would break their backs. And then if they're nice people, he would say all the love to such and such. And then he would end it with, fuck the Hulk Hogan. Because he still hated Hulk Hogan. He hated Hulk Hogan when it was not cool. And he continued to hate Hulk Hogan when it was very cool to hate Hulk Hogan. And morally right to hate Hulk Hogan. He never wavered on that. Never went back on it. And so his social media presence continue to help his quality of life and his children's quality of life as he got on in years, and his health declined. Roseanne Barr being in Fortnite would be a disturbing future, to be sure. I can't, Jatsu, I can't remember if that, I think it was that her son was into it. It was like, there was something where like Roseanne Barr was tweeting about a video game and people were like, what the fuck is happening right now? And when those things happen, generally, it's not because like, oh, such so-and-so is cool because they are into the thing I'm into. It's just like somebody said, hey, tweet about this because like people are talking about it. Get in on the tweets about this thing that you don't know anything about. I put these on wrong. I can tell I put them on wrong because I'm looking at it and I'm like, that doesn't seem right. So these are supposed to go like this. This angle is not particularly great for me to understand what they want me to do, but I'm doing my best. But also, it's Lego. I can fucking fix it. I got my my brick separator here, and I'm making short work of any problems that come up my way, which is pretty great. So yeah, I wrote here, just in case I didn't know what I wanted to say. Iron Sheik has passed away. He will forever be remembered as being an excellent heel, a bizarre man on the mic, a study case in hiring the right people to do your social media, positive, and hating that jabroni Hulk Hogan. And then sometimes we'd all be collectively mad at like a scumbag or a person that really sucked, that was like hurting people or treating people terribly and getting away with it. And then Iron Sheik's Twitter account would talk about breaking their backs and making them humble and how fuck you to them. Fuck the whatever. And it would be a sense of for a certain various generations, a certain demographic, knowing that the Twitter account of the Iron Sheik also hated the thing you hated was like nice. It was nice to see. It was a good, easy retweet where you're like, yeah, he's saying what I'm thinking. Yeah, hell yeah, Iron Sheik gets it. The people that represented Iron Sheik on social media understood that that was a cool thing to say, and it was nice that they thought that. It was good. It was a good time for everybody. So that was my like, oh, this is sad, but you know, I wanted to at least say something about it. Because we do talk about wrestling here, and we'll talk a little bit more about wrestling because there's more to talk about here. Let's see. The rumors out there are that Edge, the wrestler, not the musician, Edge, the wrestler, might be retiring from professional wrestling. He, of course, was forced to retire due to injury many years ago, 7 years ago, or over 7 years ago, came back after 7 years, that's what I meant to say, and has wrestled pretty consistently on a part-time schedule, consistently part-time, which sounds wrong, but is accurate. No, just another spicy. So the reason why people are thinking that he might be retiring is, one, he didn't say he was going to do this for that long. He's gotten to do a bunch of stuff that he wanted to do. And the last time that he was in Toronto, after the show was over, he gave a nice little speech to the crowd in Toronto saying, all right, well, the next time you see me, I'll be probably done. It'll probably be when I'm about done. And it has been announced, I should say, that Edge is booked for the SmackDown that is taking place in Toronto in August. So people are speculating that he will announce his retirement at that show. Now, of course, this is just speculation, but considering that his contract is also ending this year, some people are speculating that he will be offered and he will accept a Legends contract with the WWE, which will allow him a certain amount of money to make appearances. They will continue to sell merchandise of his and new merchandise. He will make appearances on television and in person and be paid well by the WWE for that. He'll be in their video games still. And he'll do that up until the point that Christian retires. And then Edge and Christian will go in the Hall of Fame as a tag team. Because it's probably the only way Christian will go in the Hall of Fame, but they should go in the Hall of Fame as a tag team, not just as Edge as a single star, but to give him a second ring. Also, they will give him a Legends contract because they don't want him showing up in AEW. Because AEW would pay money to have Edge there. And I don't think the WWE wants that to happen. So that is my assumption. This is, speculation on my part, but I also think he would take a Legends contract instead of wrestling anymore, because WWE is bending over, unless there is an opponent that he really wants to face who is not currently in the WWE, which could happen. That could be, but he seems to be pretty content with working there. So we'll see. Who knows? AEW would probably get Edge and Christian back together for something. Yes, that would be the idea, right? The pitch would be Edge and Christian can't see the appeal. I mean, yeah. Obviously, there's money in Edge and Christian as a tag team. There's always going to be money in nostalgia. And one of the benefits of AEW is that you can have the people that some people are nostalgic for without it being in the WWE. So you get to have your cake and eat it too. Because you're like, well, I don't want to support WWE, but I did watch them at one point and I really like this person, but now they're there so I can watch them and I don't feel bad. Because there's nothing else that would make me feel bad about AEW. And then there's Jeff Jarrett. Yes. Look, the idea of hiring Jeff Jarrett backstage in a backstage role makes a lot of sense. Dude knows how to book live events. Dude knows how to work on the road. He filled in a spot they desperately needed, and I think that makes a lot of sense. Jeff Jarrett, as a man on television, on my TV, wrestling people, getting title opportunities. I'm never going to be a fan of that. Getting a paycheck for Karen Jarrett. Boo! Please, Karen Jarrett, you seem like a lovely woman, but you cannot act, and you never could, and you can't bump, and you should not be, possibly, apparently, gonna be in a wrestling match. Seemingly, at some point, you will be in a wrestling match, and that's awful. And that should not happen. I say this is a guy that loves a lot of different kinds of wrestling, and I think wrestling can be all kinds of different things, but what it shouldn't be is a payday for somebody's significant other who was one of the worst things in another company. And that's just me. That's just my thinking on it. Let's see. Other wrestling news. I'll say the good thing before we say the worst thing. Adam Cole is out of Jericho jail. Adam Cole has done the impossible. He didn't lose to Chris Jericho in some nothing match that didn't matter, but takes the heat off of him. He didn't feud with Chris Jericho for months and months and months. He got beat up by Jericho. He got insulted by Jericho. His wife got attacked under Jericho's order. But then his best friend beat the shit out of Chris Jericho. And then he beat the shit out of Chris Jericho in a match that sucked ass. And then he had a mixed tag team match with his wife. And they kicked Jericho's ass. And that's it. And now Adam Cole will be feuding with MJF. And I know some people don't like MJF's shtick. They don't enjoy MJF as a heel, as the top heel in the company. They don't buy it. They don't believe it. They don't like it. But I think that he's fucking great at getting heat. He can fucking work in the ring. And that is the thing that people don't want to talk about, is how, yeah, he doesn't wrestle every week. A heel champion shouldn't wrestle every week. It's weird. It's weird for a bad guy champion to wrestle all the time. But also, MJF has just had good matches. His match with Moxley when he won the belt was great. His match with Danielson was great. His match with the Pillars carried that fucking thing. The weakest of the three, still good. He's going to wrestle next week in an eliminator match against Cole, which I don't enjoy eliminator matches because they AEW has never had someone win an Eliminator or Proving Ground, which is the Ring of Honor name match. Proving Ground is similar to an Eliminator match. Eliminator match is you don't have a champion. It's a non-title match. You win the non-title match. You get a title opportunity. Sure. Is this right? Ooh, no, these are wrong. I'm doing the wrong pieces here. I was like, these don't seem to fit right because they were wrong. I need these I need after this. I need a different piece here. I need these. I got it. Proving Ground is time limit draw or you win. And it adds in that time limit draw. So I could see Ring of Honor doing that at some point, this modern Ring of Honor, doing it, someone winning a time limit draw. But like, I just don't see it happening. I think there'll be shenanigans and Adam Cole will get another match out of it. This is clearly like a feud just to happen for a bit here. I think it's okay. I also think Adam Cole should probably turn heel at some point. And if this gets him there, I think that's fine because look, we're happy you're healthy and you can wrestle again. And all of that, it's very nice. It's nice to have him back. 40, I'll get to your question in a moment. It's nice to have him back and all of that. But really, I don't really want to see a heel or a babyface Adam Cole much anymore. I think he's a great heel, and it would be nice to see him heel it up again. So we'll see how long that lasts. So 40 asked, hey, Pat, have you ever been into car or plane models? So when I first was doing model kits as a child, I certainly built a bunch of like glue kits. I built a lot of planes. I built a lot of cars. When I got back into, and then I got into Gunpla in the 90s, mid 90s, I got into that, and then stopped building altogether. When I got back into model kit building about 6 years ago, I didn't think that I would be interested in that. I wanted to work on plastic snap kits, the Gunpla and such. And I didn't really want to get into glue kits. Now, I did end up getting into glue kits a bit. Of course, using liquid cement and not glue. But I did get into that because I wanted to build the 86. I wanted to build the Panda from Initial D. And I have built a couple glue kits from Initial D since. And I've built like a couple other things. I have never built a plane on stream, like old style, like that. I don't think I necessarily would want to do that. But I have built the A86, two different versions of that. And then I've built one of the other cars from the series. And that is my real modern experience with those kinds of kits. I also built like a little tank thing that I had to use. I should say, also, I have built really old, weird kits that were Gunpla, like retroactively Gunpla, that were glue kits. And I didn't even realize when I bought them they were glue kits. So I've built a few. But I've only built a couple cars. And that's mainly because, like, well, cars are liquid cement. They're glue kits. They're not snap kits. If someone made an Initial D kit car that was a snap kit, I would build that, no problem. Maybe the new show from the creator of Initial D, when that comes out, maybe I will. Maybe the kits won't be glue kits and they'll be snap kits, but I bet they'll be glue. So yeah. I started to get into painting models, mainly RC car models. Nice. Been super enjoyable. I'm working on my gluing and decal skills, though. Nice, yeah. I learned as I went on using liquid cement. My two biggest tips are, if you are working with clear plastic, like this kind of clear, whatever you can do, put gloves on if you got to. But don't get the liquid cement anywhere near anything you want to see through. The very first car that I assembled on stream, there was a thumbprint, and I ended up buffing it out it was on the underside. I just happened to be I got lazy with it while I was trying to get it in, and then managed to get a fingerprint on there, and then I sanded it off a little bit, and that worked out okay. And the other thing is that, like, just assume everything takes longer than it should. Just assume that it will, because it probably does take a little longer. Those are my tips for anybody that is getting into doing glue kits or kits that use liquid cement. Also, liquid cement is a nice, handy thing to have for if you fuck up a model kit real bad, a snap kit. You just fuck up a snap kit real bad, and you have some tape to kind of hold it together or a rubber band or something, and you can use liquid cement to adhere those two together. This makes a nice fix for some parts. Not every part, but some parts you can kind of fix your mistakes there if you fuck up really bad. Hopefully you don't fuck up really bad, but every once in a while it happens. But yeah, I'm no expert when it comes to those things. Also, when it comes to like water slide decals, or decals, I'm fine, but not great at it. Dry transfers, I wish I was better at. Dry transfers are kind of rare these days anyway for the kind of kits that I'm making, but I don't know. At least with water slides, you can kind of fix your mistake. You can kind of add a little splash of water and scoop things around before they dry. With a dry transfer, you got to nail it the first time, and that's scary. And of course, these are the most forgiving. Are Lego decals. You can peel them off and you can kind of fudge them a little bit, which is great. All right, we talked about wrestling. The quickest hit about this that I will say is the main event for Collision, which I will watch the first some minutes of, but I'm not watching all of. The first couple minutes of Collision, or the main event of Collision will be the Bullet Club Gold, Juice Robinson and Jay White teaming with Samoa Joe for some reason to take on CM Punk and FTR. CM Punk will be on television. Yes, CM Punk is coming back. He is going to be the main focus of a 2-hour wrestling show. There'll be other wrestling happening there. They have announced other people who are going to be on there. It is the return of good wrestlers like Scorpio Sky, like Thunder Rosa, like Andrade, like Miro. So it's going to be people they didn't have anything for, and people who are known to be kind of a fucking problem backstage in their own show. And then FTR will be there. And then unfortunately it seems like that's where one of the groups I really like, who I wish wasn't going to be there, the House of Black. It looks like the House of Black is going to be there. So, obviously, I stream on Saturdays at 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. And this will be 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern. So I won't be able to watch the whole thing. And I'm not going to change my streaming schedule for that show. Maybe when CM Punk gets injured in the next 4 months, because it's more likely than it isn't, and they have to revamp the show, maybe I'll do something then. But what most likely will happen for me, your friend Pat, is because I watch TBS and TNT through the web, because I have logged in with my folks in the same house here, cable login. I will just watch the West Coast feed, because the West Coast feed will hopefully, maybe not, they do it with the other shows, will hopefully replay Collision. They'll be Collision and then something else, and then they'll start replaying Collision. So after my stream's over, I will be able to watch it again, go back in, and I'll just half pay attention to the parts I don't care about. It sucks. I wasn't thrilled about him. I was okay with CM Punk is here. He loves wrestling again. He's fighting all these young kids who he's excited about, and he's going to beat them, but it'll still be cool. And I was okay with that. And then it was he started doing point at your waist and do the arms like this, I want the belt. And I'm no, you don't. Nobody wants that. Hangman Page is the champion, and they haven't done much with Hangman. He's had 1 okay feud and 2 not so okay feuds. He fought a guy he had a great match against Lance Archer. Adam Cole is so popular that even though he's a heel, people are cheering for Adam Cole. And he fought Bryan Danielson, who was a babyface at the time. He needs a good long-term feud with an actual heel, an unlikable heel. What are you doing? Oh God, CM Punk is going to beat him for the belt, isn't he? Fuck. Which was just my general thinking on that. And once it became clear that he was going after the title, and in my opinion was not going to lose that match, even though it would have been fucking very cool if he had, for everybody. It was very frustrating. And it's been shit ever since. So, There we go. Danielson is going to wrestle Okada. The 2 matches scheduled for Forbidden Door are both fucking bangers. Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay fight very well against one another. They are very good together. Their chemistry in ring is fucking fantastic. So them having a match is great. And then also Danielson and Okada is just like a dream match. It's fucking cool as hell. So yeah, I'm certainly excited about that. But yes, as 40 says, he never looked back. Yeah. Like, I didn't believe him beating Hobbs. And Hobbs is booked horribly. Like, Powerhouse Hobbs, Will Hobbs, is booked terribly. But I still didn't believe that CM Punk could beat Powerhouse Hobbs. Did I believe that he could beat, some of the people he fought? Sure. But I didn't believe Hobbs. I certainly didn't believe that CM Punk can beat Eddie Kingston. No, there's no fucking way I believe that. Oh, yeah, the actual hardest man in wrestling and the most believable man on the mic. Yeah, CM Punk can beat him in the ring. Sure he can. I was like, that doesn't work for me. Obviously, I want Eddie Kingston to win a lot, and I want the world from him. But I certainly didn't believe that shit. I was just like, nah, you can't suspend my disbelief about that shit. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that anymore. So I did not watch Day of the Devs. I did not watch the Wholesome Direct. I plan on watching the Wholesome Direct for Saturday's stream. I didn't watch Day of the Devs. Wholesome Direct is this weekend. So for Saturday, I will be talking about Day of the Devs and Wholesome Direct together. There might even be some overlap. I didn't watch Devolver's thing because I don't like it. I'm sure that some of the games, I saw one of the games shown. One of the games shown looks like one of those QWERTY things, but like good art. And I bet that's going to suck ass in a fun way. And I bet there are other games at the Devolver Showcase that was cool. But it's the same shit because it's a comedic outlook on the games industry. It is a parody of those kind of press conference events, right? And none of it has changed. So you can't change the parody. You just have to keep doing it until you one day start influencing the other ones and they become just as weird as you are. And then you have to do something else. But like Devolver just keeps doing the same shit because there's nothing new to parody. And I just don't like the joke. I'm just kind of done with it. They spend a lot of money to make fun of AI, and I appreciate it. Yeah, I guess that's I guess I want them to pick something sharper. I want them to stick their teeth into something else. I don't know. It's just do your showcase in a parking lot again. Like, I think they should be stunt based at this point and not at this almost self-parody. I don't know. I just to me, the joke was old the second time they did it, and it hasn't gotten any fresher or better, in my opinion. So I did not watch that. I don't have plans to watch that. Again, I'll hear more about the games because it's inescapable to hear about games. So for the next 20 minutes or so, I will talk through the Summer Games Fest. Big notes, Jeff Keighley, pass it off, man. It's your show. It's your thing. You get the business deals. You get the people talking. You do the thing. Jeff Keighley, hire two or three people to share hosting duties. Let them do it. Have an interview specific person and maybe like a pump up the crowd person and someone to read the copy that sounds terrible, but someone's got to read it. Jeff Keighley, you don't need to be doing this anymore because you're not great at it. Also, maybe you could be the change we want to see in the industry, and you could hire some diverse folks to do it. So maybe every person from every studio, when every studio person that comes in is just a white dude, at very least, at least your presenters would be not that. Just a little bit of feedback there for old Jeff, for the old Key 3. There's a new Prince of Persia. It's a 2.5D game, which is a spin-off. So you're not... Hey, it's a Prince of Persia game where you don't play the prince. You play people trying to save the prince or someone trying to save the prince. It would be very funny if while you were doing that, like you just kept hearing about like cool shit happening and you don't believe that that's actually the prince. Like you're trying to save him, but he's just doing awesome shit. And you're just not aware of that. I think that'd be kind of cool. Look, neat. Mortal Kombat 1 continues to be a video game that I would be happy to look at more of, except for the part, hey, 40 just resubscribed saying Lego racing helmets are the best. They totally are. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego site the moat in the chat. Thank 40 Gumball 420 for renewing their sub. Appreciate that very much. We can throw the emotes in there. Yeah, Mortal Kombat. I'm too old. I'm just too old for the fatalities. I just don't want to look at them anymore. I just don't. The idea of having buddies that can do some moves, the time stuff being all fucked up and different, I think all that stuff is cool. I think it's going to be fun and people are going to really have a good time with it. When streamers I like are going to start playing that game, I'm not going to watch those streams. I just know that about myself, that I just don't want to do that. I'm not that guy anymore. The fatalities got too good. I don't understand what this Exo Primal is coming out soon. And then in the fall, there's going to be a crossover with Street Fighter 6. And I couldn't tell, and maybe there's been a press release and someone in chat can let me know. Is it that there will be skins in Exo Primal where you can play as characters that look like versions of Street Fighter 6 characters? Or will dinosaurs show up coming out of portals in Street Fighter? Or both? What does a crossover with Street Fighter 6 fucking mean? If you know, feel free to let me know, because I did not understand what they were going for with that, other than it looked kind of neat, and I don't know. I think it's just, you could have, this character looks like Ryu in Exo Primal. It's for 6 skins in Exo Primal, but they were not very clear about it. Okay, so it's just skins for Exo Primal. So that's the least cool part. Okay, cool. Exo Primal is going to have Street Fighter skins because Street Fighter is very popular. Okay, that's the least cool thing. To me, the idea that you could be wandering around Metro City and then maybe a dinosaur would show up and want to have a street fight with you, like that sounds way better. Like the idea that you could beat up like a pizza guy and then also you turn a corner and then there's just a dinosaur there and then you have to, throw a fireball at a dinosaur. You're going to Shoryuken a dinosaur. Like that sounds better to me. Okay. They're trying to bribe people to play Exo Primal. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to read you a quote. I wrote down a quote here. This is a quote from an actor who appeared on stage. And this quote is, when you're playing the game, we are fused. That's a quote from Nicolas Cage. and the concept behind that is, in his mind, he is saying, hey, when you play as me in a video game, I'm me, and you're playing me, and we have a connection together. And you know what? I fucking believe him. I 100% believe that Nicolas Cage feels like that, like, when you are playing him in a video game, like, that he can feel it. Like, he's going to vibe with you, and you're going to vibe with him. I buy that shit. I tweeted this at Eric Pope. Congratulations to the person who successfully explained Dead by Daylight in a way that Nicolas Cage understood. And it's the horror approach, the thing he said. Hey, it's a horror game and it's a survival horror game and you're working together to survive. And because you don't have to say, don't say the phrase co-op. Don't say couch co-op to Nick Cage. Don't say any of that shit. Just be like, yeah, you're like playing a survival horror game, like a horror movie, and they're going to be embodying you, and you're going to be helping survivors together. And Nick Cage goes, oh, that sounds like a fun video game. And according to Eric Pope, also, they didn't just record some lines. Nicolas Cage, part of the agreement they had is that Nicolas Cage demanded that all tertiary lines that they would normally hire a sound-alike person to do, or just use their stock and just be like, that kind of sounds like Nick Cage. Who really knows what Nick Cage is saying? No, apparently Nick Cage wanted to do all his incidental audio. He wanted to do every grunt and groan and like he wanted to do all of it. And that is very Nick Cage. Now, do I want to play Dead by Daylight? No. I will never play that video game. Will I watch somebody play Dead by Daylight if they are playing as Nick Cage? Yes. I want good things for that man. That man paid off all his debts. He can now make movies that he wants to make exclusively. This is his first video game appearance. Nick Cage also made it seem like he didn't know this was something he could have been doing. And that makes me mad that Nick Cage's like people. Nick Cage's people, assumedly, seemingly, Nick Cage's people were not bringing him voiceover work in video games. Now, maybe it was because the deals weren't good, but like, they had Gary Busey in Hitman. Are you telling me that when Hitman was part of Square Enix, they probably could have gotten Nick Cage for a mission? And that didn't, like, do I even know that they approached him? No. But I'm sure Nick Cage was on the list of people we'd like to get for our video game. Nonsense. How long till he's in Fortnite? I mean, hopefully soon. Nick Cage probably occasionally goes up to a master computer and plugs himself in. He just vibes. Yeah. I would imagine Nick Cage sits next to a person playing the game and just says wow a lot. And no. I don't know. I'm just happy. I'm happy that Nick Cage is in a video game. And he's branching out, which theoretically means he'll do more of it. And I also want this more than anything. Look, do I think that he would make a great antagonist in a video game? Of course. Do I think he'd make a great, like, father figure in a game that you're like, has some dialogue, but doesn't carry the game, but he's in there? Of course he could do that. Do I think that Nick Cage should demand that every video game he's in, he plays Nick Cage? Yes, because that's the funniest possible outcome. The best scenario possible out there is that Nick Cage only agrees to be in video games where he plays Nick Cage. That is the best, funniest, Bruce Campbell-ass answer possible. And so that's what I want. I want him to be solely and exclusively only agree. It's like, well, now what's the character? Is it now which version of me is it? The unbearable weight of tremendous talent in the cape of the movie. Yes, no. I mean, like, I don't want. Yeah, I mean, like, hey, that's the even funnier part, right? That he would not agree to be in video games where he's playing a character he played in a movie. He only wants to play himself. I think that's just it's just such a great silly thing that I want it. I just want it. Hey, Mr. Bob. So anyway, it is weird that was my favorite thing. That was my favorite thing in the whole goddamn event was Nick Cage. Nick Cage campaign in Power Simulator. Yes, Nick Cage is sending you text messages, and then you're just watching things. You're watching like various Nick Cage things that he wants cleaned. People were mad to see a trailer for The Witcher Season 3 because it's inspired by the books and not the video game, and it's not a video game, but they clearly Netflix paid them a bunch of money, and it's everything that happens on this show is an ad. And I know that it's like, well, it's an ad for a video game though, so I'm interested. And it's like, yeah, I know, but this is just an ad for a thing that gamers like, and also not gamers like, and it's fine. Path of Exile 2, hey, they're making more Path of Exile. They're still making it. Witchfire looked what? No thanks. I'm glad I missed this. The show was always based in the books. Yes. But inspired a video game, so that's why it's coming. Wait, companies pay, Lord Crashington. Companies pay to run ads during it. Yeah, I'm not talking about video game companies. I'm not talking about video games. I'm talking about this. The ad for a TV show, a Netflix show. They paid money to have that there. The ad for the upcoming TV show for Twisted Metal. Peacock paid money. Oh, Lord Crashington was being sarcastic. Oh, yes. You're being sarcastic. Yes. Fucking any kind of ad shit you see in there. That's all. Yeah, that's all paid. And people are like, oh, it's cool that he made all these deals. And I'm like, you mean deals that cost money? Sorry, it's not the easiest thing in the world to pick up on sarcasm for me, because I'm not good at it always. Well, hey, let's put this back on here. Handshake deals, yeah. Witchfire, I don't even remember a second that happened in there. I think it's like, he's like a wizard with a gun? Like, okay. Crossfire Sierra Squad sounds like a made-up video game. That sounds like a fake-ass video game name, but it's coming to PlayStation VR 2. Crossfire Sierra Squad. That sounds made up. It still sounds made up. Remnant 2, fine. It's like a shooter, but it's like a shooter that's inspired by Souls-like games, and I think that's kind of neat, because you don't have to be in the same genre to get inspired by good video games. I think that's kind of cool. To play in the background of a game of a show game, yeah. Okay, I don't want to talk too much about this because y'all fucking know my thoughts on this shit. Sonic Superstars. It's going to be a co-op game, and they're charging $60 for it. Now, speaking of, Wizard with a Gun got a better trailer, more gameplay. Yes, I did see that, Ghost Valve, the actual Wizard with a Gun trailer. Look, the idea that is Sonic Superstars going to be solely co-op? I don't think so. I imagine there will be single player, but it'll be best with co-op. But to do a co-op mode and push that co-op mode for a $60 game, and it's a fucking Sonic video game. Nah. No. Also, when it went from, you could hear the change in the crowd when it went from like very traditional to like, and now there's like none of the new shit got any reaction from anybody. I'm worried they are making a new bad Sonic side-scrolling engine. I mean, Mr. Bob, Sonic Mania was good, and that didn't come out long enough for us to get another good Sonic game. Like they are really, really, really separated by years. And it's just Sonic Mania came out too soon for there to be like another good one. So yeah, they're gonna make a bad engine for more bad Sonic games. They're gonna spend a lot of money making more bad Sonic games that someone you know swears is good. Honkai Star Rail, I just kept having to say no when people tried to write Honky Star Rail in Jeff Gersman's chat. I don't need to see you writing that. Just call it Honkai. Just say the name. That's a terrible, bad joke that multiple people make. It's like, come on, shut the fuck up. Stop making this bad joke. All right, so how does this fit in? Does this just slot? Does this just... What the fuck? How does this work? Does this like just sit like this? What the fuck? There's got to be something else coming. Because this just like hovers right now. Right now, this just hovers and I'm like, what did I do wrong? All right, there's got to be something else going on because right now that just hovers there and feels really weird. So, I don't know what's going on with this. This feels bad. I'm going to say that right now. Wait, what's that piece? Why does that look different? Because like that, there's like a piece there. Sorry, everybody. I'm like suddenly worried that no, there's nothing there to hold into that. Okay, I don't know. I know the game because I got an email advertising that I get 90 pulls if I try it out. Oh yeah, no. I just did the Fast and Furious Charger, and the car Lego kits are super weird. Yeah, I haven't done any of the Fast and Furious. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, this one thing here is very strange, and I'm just feeling very weird about how this goes in. Goes in. Oh, okay. It goes in like that? Oh, because it moves. Oh, okay. It's got to move. That's why it goes in really fucking weird? Okay, now I figured it out. That's really weird. It goes in like that. And then it's going to click into place like down here, I think. That's so weird. Okay, I understand now. The reason why it didn't feel right is because it's going to move. And right now it doesn't feel right, and eventually it will feel better. Great. Yeah, I have nothing to say about Star Rail. That looks like a gotcha game. I'm not interested in that. It seems fine. Y'all, just imagine for a second that Lies of P wasn't about Pinocchio. I think that game would actually be very cool if it wasn't about Pinocchio. But because it's about Pinocchio, I can never take it seriously. I don't think I'm ever going to take that, because I'm just be like, well, what's the P in Lies of P stand for? Pinocchio? Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. It looks fucking pretty cool, but like, never going to take that shit seriously. Hey, Sandlands is a fucking video game. Fuck yeah, they're gonna make a fucking Toriyama game called Sandlands. There's gonna be a movie there's a movie coming out about Sandland. So it kind of makes sense. It doesn't make any sense that there's gonna be a movie about Sandland. And it doesn't make any sense that there's gonna be a video game about Sandland. Really, but sure. The right amount of material for a game. Yeah, they're really going to stretch for that. All right. So now I can take this and I can push these down here. And that's what I need to do there. So they had to do this awkward. This thing was really awkward how these went together, and it makes sense now. It's still very fucking awkward how they go together. And now I guess we're going to work on the back of this here. Throne in Liberty. I watched it. It's an MMORPG that NCSoft and Amazon Games are working on. I know I watched this trailer. Couldn't tell you a fucking thing about it. No memory of what happened in that trailer. I need a 1x2. I need a square, a white square, a flat white 2x2. Here it is. Great. But yeah, I don't remember a single thing about that. Warhaven, again, if you told me that Warhaven was the same game as the one directly before it, Throne in Liberty, I'd be like, sure. Party Animals continues to just fucking... Party Animals is still just fucking looks like Gang Beasts. It just fucking looks like Gang Beasts. Alan Wake 2, got a new character. You're playing a Saga. I love this quote. There was a quote in there. I didn't write it down. My apologies for not writing it down. But a quote in there from the creative director that was basically just like, or Sam Lake is just like, hey, Saga doesn't know what's going on. So you don't have to go back and play the first Alan Wake. Because Saga is you in the game. And Saga is going to figure stuff out. This is not an exact quote for quote. But I think that is a beautiful way of looking at it. Like, hey, you didn't play the first Alan Wake? That's okay. You got in on us with Control? Sure, no problem. Like, she doesn't know what the fuck's going on in here. So you'll come along and learn when she learns. And I'm like, that sounds great. That is a fantastic way to approach this shit, in my opinion. Again, who knows, but in my opinion, that's a great way to go. Looking forward to that. They fucking made a sequel to Space Marine. Why is there co-op in this? I better be able to play this fucking game solo. I'll tell you that right now. Because I didn't play fucking Space Marine with people. I don't want to play Space Marine with people. I want to play Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2 by myself. It's the only Warhammer thing I've ever liked, ever, was the first Space Marine, because it was a very good B game. It was a very enjoyable, not particularly great video game. And I got it on sale. Okay, Lord Grasham says you can play it solo. Great. I got it on sale, and I played the shit out of it. And I don't think I'm going to be playing it with people. Maybe, but that's not my preference. My preference is to play that shit by myself and have a good, terrible time with it. I'll have a very good, okay time with it. And I got to remember anything about Space Marine other than I enjoyed it. And I remember the ending being like, oh, yeah, okay. Yes, Your Grace seemed cool, but I wouldn't play that, probably. Hey, John Carpenter's Toxic Commando sure did have fucking Bon Jovi in it, huh? There was certainly some fucking Bon Jovi on that, and people were like, this is a good idea for selling our video game. But also, it wasn't a bad idea. I will say this. I thought we were done with zombies. We're not done with zombies, huh? I really did think that we were eventually going to be fucking done with zombies. I'm a little, honestly, actually, genuinely, a little surprised we're not done with zombies. But also, John Carpenter's name's on there, and that's fun. And Nick Chester is somehow involved in that shit. I love the multiplayer of Space Marine. I never played it dirty. Also, hi, dirty. I only played it single. I love that. Baldur's Gate 3, Jason Isaacs is going to be an antagonist in there. It's leaving early access and actually coming out this year. I have nothing further to say about Baldur's Gate 3. That's all I got for Baldur's Gate 3. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 Hell yeah. More Marvel Spider-Man 2. Looking pretty okay. You can go to Manhattan, Queens, and Brooklyn. It's also coming out this year, which to me is the big surprise of the show. It's not like a trailer. It's the announcement that it's coming out on October 20th of 2023. All the boroughs, yeah. All the important boroughs. There should be a joke about how no one wants to go out to Staten Island. So, it's like, well, we know Spider-Man is neither Spider-Man is in Staten Island. Pal World got delayed. Early access to Pal World isn't going to be until 2024. I know you all want to play Pokemon with guns. But unfortunately, early access has been pushed back to January 2024. For a video game, I'm not convinced is real. I still think this is something somebody made in Blender. I'm still not fully convinced that this is a real video game that's ever going to actually come out. I would not put money into the early access when that happens. I would just watch Jan Ochoa try to play it, I guess, is my recommendation, is see if Jan ends up playing it to find out if it's a real video game or not. I'm not convinced. We'll wrap up here. We'll resume this. We got to do a pause for the cause, but we'll come back and do that, and then I'll talk about anime because there's not a lot to say about the anime that I watched. But I need to do a pause for the cause because it is after 10. Those creatures are skating a thin line between original and... Oh, everything in Pal World looks like a ripoff. Everything in Pal World looks like it is... Well, this is close enough to our own ideas. Hi, I'm Pat Bear. You know me. If you don't, welcome. I build Lego sets and model kits, and this is the thing I do. Yes, you could support the channel in the future if you wanted to. First and foremost, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply, throw those emotes in there, let the people know. That's the easiest way to support what I do here is becoming a subscriber. Using Cash Money, or if you have Amazon Prime linked with your Twitch account, you get Twitch Prime, you get that token. You can use it for anybody once a month. Use it for me. Because that's another way to support what I do here. Did the audio get weird for a second for anyone else? I hope that was just you for a second, Lashbrook. Okay, it did get weird. I don't know what happened, but okay. But it's not weird now, and I'm going to keep talking. It sounded like Pat was trying to emphasize a word. Okay. Sure. I'm just going to keep talking, though, because I need to get through this so that we can get back to doing other cool shit. You could gift a sub. Bobby is at the top of our gift sub leaderboard, along with Silver Streak and Imjan. Gifting a sub is a nice way to support someone in the community if you're already a subscriber, but you want to share the love. Always appreciate that. The end of this month, on the 23rd, my birthday, I am going to be doing a subscriber drive. The goal is to reach 86 subscribers as a subathon. And we're already on our way to it. We're past 40, which unlocks the first thing. As long as I'm at 40, we will do a cool thing. And there will be different rewards for the different unlocks as we try to get to 86. And it'll end with me drinking 50% of a glass of Mountain Dew and 50% milk. It's Mountain Dilk. I'm going to do it. I don't do punishments, but I got to do some kind of reward. I'm not big on punishment rewards. Anyway, that's in the future. Bits and coins also always appreciated. Harold has given me 69 bits. Cheered 69 bits this month, which is very kind. The Dilk promise, indeed. That's a fun thing. I got a Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. That is an alternative way to support what I do here. If you don't want to hang out here on Twitch and spend money on Twitch, I fucking get it. Y'all, I understand. Jump on my Patreon. $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. Different rewards for different tiers. I have a YouTube channel, and you can subscribe for free on YouTube. But if you want... I know this is weird. I know people, generally are confused about this. But, you can spend money on YouTube if you want. You can become a member. And the membership, you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. So you would have been able to see what I think is my best of this series, only 20 something in, but the best one I have done to date, I just put up, and you could watch that one. You could have watched that on Tuesday instead of waiting until yesterday. There's also one-time donations because those are monthly ways to support me. If you just want to help me out now and again, you can throw me a couple dollars. And everything I make through Coffee, Stream Elements, PayPal with direct donations, YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me, Twitch, and Patreon all goes through the fund, and I buy model kits with that fund. I was able to buy this car, this Countach. I bought this Countach because of your generosity. Thank you very much. I have run a poll with my $10 patrons on what I build after I finish the Countach, which I believe I will finish at the beginning of Saturday's stream. And when that's done, or tomorrow, I'm going to be running a poll to figure out what I do after that. The only way to skip out on my backlog is to buy something from my wish list. And then it jumps the queue. It becomes the next thing that I build. My birthday, as I said, is coming up. If you want to, you don't have to. All of this is optional. If you want to buy me something for my birthday, buy me a model kit you want to see me build on stream, you could do that. My Amazon wish list is a bunch of stuff. It's got inexpensive Lego kits. It's got more expensive kits. All kinds of different stuff here. I just added some new stuff pretty recently. Model kits that have free shipping, model kits that have prime shipping, a bunch of different stuff. Ooh, the Jogan from a not super popular Bandai series recently is on sale now for $25. I built one kit from that before. I built another. I got a bunch of different stuff, and I try to always add new things to the list and take off stuff that is no longer available. But yeah, there's a bunch of different things in here. See if there's something there you'd like to see me build on stream. You pick that up, and I build it there. That's how that works. And there's some gear at the bottom because it's nice to have gear options. Yeah, I think that's Amazon here. We'll get back to model kit building in just a minute, but I do need to promote myself a little bit here. What else can I tell you about? Oh, I have an alternative to Amazon, which is my Throne wish list. See if there's something there on Throne that interests you, that you want to go and take a look at. And then you can always just buy a gift card at USA Gundam Store and then send me a DM on Twitch or whisper on Twitch and a DM on Twitter. My DMs are open. And you can always just send me a thing there if you wanted to. Let's see. Is there anything else? I got a Discord. Join my Discord. It's nice. I don't know. If you want to chat with some people, it's very laid back. It's not like a bustling place, but it's good. High quality. Let's see. I put up a new episode this week of Pat Bear's Anime Club. My 98th Pat Bear's Anime Club. Can you believe it? I've done 98 of those. Pat Bear's Anime Club, episode 98, is about 4 cute shows that I'm recommending this season. Did I miss a very cute show that I could have recommended? Could I have recommended a 5th one? Of course I could have. I fucked up. But if you're looking for some recommendations about some cute-ass anime, where only one of them is definitely 100% an isekai, and 2 of them are maybe isekais, check that out. I think you'll like it. I like that list. And then Barely Rehearsed is an ongoing series where every week I perform a character piece that I have written and rehearsed. I don't just improvise it. I write it and then rehearse it and then perform it. And this one is an ad read. It's a podcast ad read about a sponsor. And that's all I'll say, except this one, sometimes they're like ideas that I'm like, oh, that'll be fun. And sometimes there are ideas that like just make me laugh as I'm doing it. Like I had to record this one a couple times because I started laughing at one point. I laughed at my own joke that I wrote for myself because I thought it was pretty fucking funny. So I would say if you've never watched a Barely Rehearsed, this might be the one that you like. I don't know. I think it's pretty good. It's maybe not the most original idea in the world, but I think it's pretty fun. All right. I am going to drink some water. We are going to finish talking about Summer Game Fest. And then I'm going to talk about some anime after that. But first, I need to drink some water and dramatically transition back to the overhead so I can keep working on this cool car. And we'll do that right now. All right. So, The Lord of the Rings, Return to Moria. Everybody's talking about how Lord of the Rings is the best video game franchise ever. There's never been a bad video game in the Lord of the Rings franchise. And it's definitely not going to have to make up ground from a previous title that is just ass. So everything's going to be great for the Lord of the Rings Return to Moria. I will say, dwarves are cool. I like Lord of the Rings dwarves. I think they're neat. So sure. Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, which is the mobile game. Registration is available, and the closed beta for Android will be is already started. It starts today. The closed beta for Android started today. So if you want to play a fucking Sephiroth focused Final Fantasy VII spin-off on mobile devices, you can get in on that shit. Ever Crisis was a nice troll on the Final Fantasy VII people. Yeah, that they did that, and then there's going to be something else they'll say. Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden. That's a fucking video game name. Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden. That's a fucking compromise. That's a boardroom compromise. That's like a lot of people just being like, fine, we'll fucking call it that. I'm tired of this argument. It should just be Banisher. It can't be Banisher Ghost of New Eden. It's got to be Banisher's Ghost of New Eden. What if we just called it New Eden? What if we call it Ghosts of New Eden? No, it's Banishers because the sequel will be Banishers and then something else. Because we're definitely making a sequel to this game that no one will ever remember. God, what a terrible name. Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden. That's a fucking PS2-ass video game name. You know what is a good video game name? Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name. It's Like a Dragon game with Kiryu. Fuck yeah. The man who erased his name is a good-ass subtitle for a video game. I don't make the rules, I just enforce them. Just Control-Z, yeah. Just undo. Hit the undo button. You know, you can right-click and you can reopen the tab. It's okay. Under the Waves seemed pretty neat and is a good name for a video game. Under the Waves definitely is a game that would, like, get my, fear. I don't know. I don't know about Under the Waves, the game. I don't know. I don't particularly love underwater games. They kind of freak me out. Something else has to happen here because this... I'm going to double check. This does not seem to be... Okay. This is another one of those things where I'm doing a thing that doesn't feel right, and then something will happen that will make this feel right. Because right now, this does not clip on anything. It just rests there. And that's very weird. This kid has a lot of, there's some weird... Yes! Cthulhu vibes, Lord Crashing. It does have, hey, what's fucking happening down here vibes. So yeah, this is just doing this right now, and I imagine it's because this is going to open and close, but it's weird that I'm just, not attaching that to anything right now. I imagine that it will, we will get some fixes here in a minute on these two components. Call of Duty Modern Warfare Season 4, sure. I got nothing to say about Call of Duty. Fae Farm looked kind of nice. I don't know. It's going to be a PC game, and it's on Switch, coming out in September. I don't know. Fae Farm World. No, world premiere, should I say. Fae Farm? Sure. I don't know. I don't have anything grandiose to say about that other than, yeah, it looked all right. Sure. that's a game that like I know a few people that will be definitely play, and maybe I'll check it out. But right now, I just look at it and go like, yeah, all right. I'm not mad at that. Uh, Ben Brode showed up. They got Ben Brode wearing a fucking jacket that says the name of the video game that he works on. There's going to be a new game mode in Marvel Snap. They got their second game mode. It's called Conquest. And that's cool. If you were wondering why the archive of a watch along stream that you wanted to catch some of is not on YouTube or was on YouTube and then came down, it is because Peacock sent DMCA's to anyone that was showing the trailer to Twisted Metal, the cartoon, the live action show for Peacock. Everyone got hit with a DMCA for that. Which is great publicity for your fucking game-based show. To just be like, oh, cool. Everybody has to go and delete that shit from the archive, from their archives. Great. Great job. Excellent work. Wonderful. Wonderful news. Also, I know that Samoa Joe walking around is Sweet Tooth. And then I hear Will Arnett talking. I know. Including the Game Awards channel. Yeah. Oh no, everybody got hit. It was a worldwide hit. Blocked. Not even like demonetized. Blocked. They're just like, no, you can't show this shit. Fuck you. Yeah, everybody got fucking razzed for that shit. I know that that's Samoa Joe walking around. I know that's not Will Arnett. And that's fucking weird. I don't like it. I don't like seeing Samoa Joe's body move around and then Will Arnett talk. I saw Universal going after Super Mario Bros. Movie trailers from the Game Awards talkover archives a few weeks ago. Yeah, that makes sense because it's out there for rental or ownership, so they just don't want people talking shit about it. They don't want people, in their minds, they don't want people Googling it and then coming across people making fun of it. Lisfaga, the Time Shift Warrior, is an isometric hack and slash that I don't remember the trailer of, other than, like I said, oh, that's kind of cool. Immortals of Avenum, I forgot I watched the trailer for this in the past. And then like a dude showed up on stage, and he was boring as shit. And Jeff Keighley's already boring as shit, and I was like, this was a terrible choice. You have fucked up this up so bad. Yeah. Oh. Fortnite Chapter 4 Season 3. Optimus Prime's going to be in this one, y'all. It's going to be more Fortnite. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. This was the thing he was hyping up. This was the thing that Jeff Keighley was like, we got a special thing. We're closing this out with a big one. Now, obviously, he's going to say that about anything. He's going to say, this shit's going to fucking blow your genitals square off you. You're not even going to be able to talk. You won't even be able to live tweet your thoughts. This is going to be a big one. And it's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. They're going to do it, man. They're fucking doing it. They're putting out a 2-disc game. PS5, early 2024, 2 discs. And I'm going to say this. That's their fucking selling point. Their selling point is their game is so bloated it's going to come on 2 discs. Like Final Fantasy did. Like Final Fantasy VII did. Like, that's their selling point. Is that they can't put it on 1 cartridge or 1 disc. Fuck off. Fuck off with that. Come on. Come on. I saw someone say the first disc the game was also 2 discs. I don't remember that. Maybe that's possible. Well, here's the thing. If I knew that, I've forgotten it, and they're making sure I don't forget that. They're proud of the fact that it's on 2 discs, that it's a PS5 game on 2 discs. Like, what? And what's more played out? I mean, here's the thing. People might actually be nostalgic for 2 discs at this point. It says a lot how many people don't bother with physical games. Yes, a lot of people would just be like, yeah, it's not 2 discs for me, motherfucker. I'm buying that digitally. Fuck that. It's definitely not going to be 2 discs for me. 2 discs, yes, indeed. Yeah, no. Come on. All right, we got our shifter in. We're making good progress on this vehicle. Now we'll work on the engine. Get the engine bay going here. And that's it. I still have time left to talk to you about anime. We won't talk on Saturday. We'll talk more about video games that I've been playing, because I will have more to say, because I plan on spending a good portion of tomorrow, because Jeff Gersman's not going to be streaming tomorrow, because he streamed today and he's streaming on Sunday for the Microsoft event and Starfield event, the Xbox/Starfield. So I won't be talking about. So I'll have more time tomorrow afternoon to play the video game that I'm currently playing. I will say Atlas fucked up. Atlas basically accidentally on their part announced new games, a remake of an old game and a new game on their Instagram, and then took those down. Somebody fucked up the date on the auto posts. Yeah, I didn't watch Day of the Devs. I will be watching that because I had other stuff going on today. I was in charge of cooking dinner today, so I did not watch Day of the Devs. But I will watch Day of the Devs, and I will watch the Wholesome Direct, and I might watch the Future Game Show, because that's right after the Wholesome Direct. Because the Wholesome Direct is only an hour, and the Future Game Show, I believe, is maybe an hour or 2 hours. So I'm probably going to watch those back to back. So Saturday night we can talk about those things. I don't expect to watch the PC gaming show, and I don't expect to watch Ubisoft or Capcom on Monday. Maybe I will, but probably not. Also, I think the Ubisoft is like going to be long, and I think I'll just read a recap. But now I want to talk about anime. This was a very weird episode of I got a cheat ability in different worlds and became extraordinary even in the real world. I thought this was going to be more about our dude going to meet the king, because eventually he has to fucking meet the king. But no. How do I put this? So, last episode, we got a new friend. A pig. It's a little pot-bellied pig looking friend. So now our guy has 2 cool animal friends. The big part of this episode was that he also has a new mentor. And that mentor is the divine rabbit. And when I say rabbit, I don't mean a rabbit person. I do not mean an anthropomorphized humanoid that is also a rabbit, like a cat girl or whatever. No. I'm telling you that a regular old, super strong, excellent martial arts rabbit showed up and was like, hey, you know, there's things out there called the Vial, and the Divine have to fight the Vial, and I'm looking for someone to become my successor and learn my abilities so they can take on the Vial. Do you want to do that? And then Yu is just like, no. He's like, I'll learn your martial arts, but like, and I want to protect people, but I'm not interested in joining your crusade to balance this world. Like, I'm all right. In exchange for teaching this rabbit, who we don't know their name, teaching this rabbit martial arts or magic, he learns some martial arts. He can now kick real good, which is it's lovely for him. I'm very happy for him. Also in the real world, I'm going to combine some stuff together here. In the real world, the girl that he met from the modeling agency, her boss is like, hey, I want to offer you an entertainment contract. And he's just like, no. And everyone's just like, whoa, like immediately. It's like, yeah. And Yuya has a really good reason for that. He goes, I wouldn't be able to, if I said yes, I wouldn't be able to get out of it easily. And I'm happy with this. I'm happy with my life right now. I like my life in high school, and I don't want that. Which everyone's just like, what are you talking about? And then the manager of the magazine is just like, well, we'll go to this sports competition you're in and get some photos. And I don't know if those are to be like, well, we'll just make money off of you without you signing a contract, which they've already done one time, or what. But anyway, there's a sports festival, and Yuya is training with the divine rabbit, made him evolve. He looks the same, but he is like a stronger he's just way stronger and cannot control his own strength. So he like puts a ping pong ball through a table by hitting it. He like scores a goal accidentally. Because he was only supposed to be in one event, and he kept getting asked to fill in. And then eventually he plays tennis and does really well in tennis. And it's this whole thing. That's actually a fun little bit of business because Kaori is like, the person who played with me got injured. We need your help. And so you'd assume that, the people they're fighting against, like the people that on the other team, they must have like hurt someone. No, it's Kaori is terrible at tennis and keeps throwing the racket, and she must have hit her partner. But he manages to, still win and make sure everything's okay. And there's a bunch of photos. And then we then see, this girl is fighting with the Divine Rabbit. And she's talking, she looks like a young lady, but she's talking like a robot. She just talks like an android, which is weird because there's not technology in that world, really. It's a fantasy world. And she's just like, why does this rabbit know magic? I'm going to go and stop the person that taught you magic. I'm going to go defeat. So now Yuya is going to have some random girl come after him. And like I said, weird fucking episode. Like, the school thing was really short. Like, the school sports competition could have been its own episode and was weird. The rabbit stuff could have been its own episode because they just, like, lore dumped a bunch of stuff. Like, we know nothing about this world. The most we've ever learned about this world just happened. Like, we know there's, like, a prince who tried to kill the princess. There's, like, a dark guild. And then now we know that there are forces of evil in the world trying to destroy it called Vile, which is terrible. And then the divine beings are there to stop them. And Yuya is now involved in that. So even though he didn't want to be involved in that fight, he is now involved in the fight. And it was a weird episode. Did I? Yeah, I got all that. Okay. Just going to keep going on assembly here while I tell you about Oshi no Ko. Man, it's beautifully animated. The story is interesting. The premise is interesting. I've now decided I don't like Oshi no Ko. I'm going to watch the full season. I'm going to finish it. Because like I said, I think like the music is very good and like the premise is really strong. But man, a reminder, when I talk about the character named Akane, when I tell you about Akane, just remember in the back of your mind that not 2 episodes ago, this girl almost committed suicide. This character almost killed herself in a mirror of a real life event that happened that did lead to the suicide of a young wrestler and actor and entertainment person that was, ripped from the headlines. And then this character tried to kill herself not too long ago. She is mimicking the now deceased, very famous idol named Ai, who is the mother of Aqua, but secretly. So Aqua is caught off guard by this performance, and this episode starts, I think, like pretty interesting, where he's like, huh. He has to come to terms with the like, how do I actually feel about this woman that like is my mother, but also I was a big fan of her before I got reincarnated as her son, and I'm trying to find out who killed her, like who set her up for murder, but like, what do I actually feel about all of this and her? He doesn't actually know a lot about her. He kind of realizes his own mother, and then he talks with Kana and kind of realizes, like, okay, well, I've decided that I actually don't really have any kind of attraction or interest in Akane as a person. But part of Akane's ability to profile people, like this eye thing, is that she's starting to, supposedly anyway, she can kind of like get in the head of that person and like think of their thoughts. And that's useful for Akane Aqua in his ongoing like shenanigans, the things that he'll be doing in the future. So he's like, well, I have no feelings for this girl, but it would be great to use her and manipulate her to get what I need. This girl who almost killed herself that I have saved. It would be very helpful. So at the end of this reality show they're on, he kisses her on camera, and Kana doesn't like that. And let's see. Aqua meets somebody who's, they had a deal that, reason why he was on the show in the first place. So he's going to get more intel that he desperately needs. Akane, he basically says, like, Akane, I have no feelings for you. But I respect you as an actress. So they agree to pretend to be dating. They're going to pretend to be dating. To keep up appearances. And apparently a couple other characters are dating for real. Even though they're going to secretly date. And then Mimcho gets offered a gig in the reformed B Komachi, and she's surprised about that. So again, the show that definitely did not treat 100%. There's no way. It's rude to even suggest, according to some fans, it's rude to even suggest that the manga and anime are in any way exploiting the real life situation and not handling it well. In this show where a guy knows what just happened and decides, well, it would be in my best interest to manipulate you and to use your abilities to further my own goals because he's aware of her feelings for him and manipulate her. This person that almost lost her life. Like, this is a good idea. This anime. Again, there's a lot of stuff about this. I still think the pilot is fucking incredible. A 90-minute episode that I think is the best thing this season. But the show itself, nah, I'm good. I mean, I'm going to keep watching it. But it's weird. It's a weird one. And then Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts is another. This show I enjoy, but I think that this episode was not the best. The war hero Duke Gallius is like a whale man, and that's weird. So we have the Duke shows up, and this is a party that is to honor him, and he's got a servant that he's really mean to, and of course he is just openly distasteful and rude to Seraphi because she's human. And it's like, yeah, sure, man. Of course you show up like an asshole, and of course immediately you are shitty to your future queen, of course. he's very abusive to her, and when she is just, verbally abusive when she is trying to be nice and help him out. Um, she doesn't, his gift she doesn't appreciate because she doesn't want to drink wine. Um, she tries to get away from the feast, but Lanhart tries to console her. Um, Later, she asks this guy for a dance, just trying to do whatever she can for her future husband. Uh, and he's like, no, dance with my servant. So she does, and they seem to be having a pretty okay time. Uh, they're like, okay, yeah, sure. Um, and apparently the servant, he's disfigured because he was burned by humans once. But he doesn't hate humans. And so then Gallios goes to attack his servant, and Seraphi tries to protect the servant. Um, and then the servant stops Gallios because that's not Gallios. The servant was really Gallios this whole time. The fake was his son. And Gallios apparently wanted to... apparently, he was just like, I need to know the character. I need to test you, the future queen. Again, I do have to just point out that the king is right there and is clearly stronger than everyone. But everybody's just like, oh, who's this human gonna marry our king? Something I gotta be openly hostile to her. And it's just like, come on, dudes, come on. This whole season's just gonna be this, I guess. Anyway, I guess she passed the test. And then Seraphi, because she is great, it's just like, hey, please don't punish them for this fucking stupid trick that they pulled. This bullshit trick they pulled. So Lionheart says, okay, your punishment is you got to continue to protect the kingdom from the sea. So do a good job there. And then we'll be okay. And then after that, Leonhardt and Seraphi prepare to dance because their romance is continuing. I should say that last episode was the two-parter with the childhood friend who didn't get it. So at least humans also are stupid in this thing. So there's that. But yeah, it's a weird bit of business, this whole thing. Like every episode is just going to be, here's a new character that doesn't think this girl should become queen. And by the end of it, they probably will think that, except for like one dude who still does not think that way. Yeah, it's just odd. Okay, so then we got to put this into like this. Does that work? Is that how it's supposed to go? I'm going to... Okay, that is how it's supposed to go. All right. I think this doesn't look right, but I think this is right. And I'll find out soon. Gotta harass her because she doesn't deserve the title. Yeah, I mean, that's just, everybody is just like, well, I know that she won over these other people, but I'm still gonna be an asshole about it. It's weird. I mean, it's necessary, but I would like something else to be happening in this story. It would be nice if like one other thing happened, something a little different. Like I said, we did have the whole episode where her childhood friend was like, I'm saving you. I'm definitely saving you because I have feelings for you. So even though you say you don't want to leave, I won't listen to you and I'm going to kidnap you for your own good. And it's only when like it's very clear that the king could kill him at any moment and doesn't because he knows that it would make her sad that he's like, all right, well, I guess this isn't bad. Yeah, dude. Good job. At least that was a little different than like, here's a new character that doesn't trust our girl who is only doing her goddamn best. Only trying to be a best girl. Just doing her damnedest. We'll get this part connected, and then we'll probably call it quits on this kit. Yeah, I guess I'll tell you a little bit. Diablo 4. I'm playing a Necromancer. I'm in the high 20s. I'm playing it as easily as possible. I'm having a very good time. I will not be streaming Diablo 4. This is a game for me to play on my own time. It is a me game. I only have so many me games, and this is a me game. It's a game for Pat to play. I'm having a really good time with it. I've played solo the whole time. I haven't done anything with anybody. I've done a few. Turns out Diablo 4 is a pretty fun game. Totally. I've done some like world events with some people, and that is the extent of my interactions with other people in that game. Is mostly just me doing my thing, just getting out there, doing my thing where I need to be doing my thing, and having a really good time with it. Yeah, it's just I really like I like killing monsters and skeletons, and I just I'm using mouse and keyboard. I've been enjoying that. That to me is the way to go. I'm just now starting to figure out that I probably need to respec again, because I'm not making enough. I'm making enough corpses, but in boss fights, I'm getting close to being like, shit, okay, maybe I need to do this. Like, I think Vinny Caravelle was talking about it, and I got to look into it. A spec where you get more corpses by doing damage, not by killing things. And that might be the way to go for like boss encounters. Because I'm just starting to hit some moments where I'm like, oof, this could go a lot better than it's going. I'm definitely like not doing as well here as I probably should be doing. So the idea that like there is like a version out there, a play style out there for the Necromancer that like might benefit me better in those fights. I gotta investigate. I gotta try it out. I have a druid named Thor with lightning powers. Lovely. Had some annoying bugs and server issues. Nearly beat my first dungeon when the servers crapped out and wound up back in town. I have not had any server problems. I think part of it might be because I waited until I didn't play it immediately on Monday night. I played it on Tuesday. I waited. I woke up on Tuesday and played it then. And I have not had any issues. I've been lucky, I'm sure. Because I know there are plenty of other folks that ran into many problems out there. I just happen to not be one of them. I've been doing pretty great when it comes to that game. Okay, yeah. This is a really complex, interesting build. So I guess these the doors aren't going to open, which is a shame. It would be cool if the doors opened. I guess the doors aren't going to open on this kit. But yeah, this has been a pretty interesting build for this Lamborghini. And we're going to wrap it up on, because I still have a bunch of stickers. That's the thing, right? I still have to put, I still have 4 more stickers left on here, 5 more stickers left on here that I'll have to go on now before we button this up. So we're going to finish this kit up on Saturday. My first time was last night. Nice. I'm going through the same mindset with a sorcerer and chain lightning build. Ooh. They could probably open, yes, Lashberg. I could open them, but then I couldn't get them back closed. Yes. So one time. Yes, you're right. But yeah, I'm going to finish this kit up on Saturday, and then I don't know what I'm going to be building next. I have a poll that's going out tomorrow for my $10 patrons to help me decide what I'm building next. It's going to be from my recent purchases backlog, from my backlog. There's a Lego set that's a 3-in-1 that should be pretty fast, that I could start and just keep on the Lego train, or we could switch over and work on some action figure model kits. I have 2 of them. They're both going to be pretty short, so I'm packaging them together. I got a Pokemon and I got a person from an anime. That's not Pokemon. But I got a human being and I got a Pokemon kit that I both bought on sale on IGN when they were running a sale. Ooh, we're dropping frames. That's terrible. We should get out of here while the getting's good. before Saturday stream, I will refresh my internet connection, and maybe that'll make things better. So I'm not crapping the bed here. I don't know what's going on. That's been very frustrating, friends. But we are going to go ahead and go on a raid. That is how we end every stream here, is we go hang out with some other people. I want to thank you for spending some time with me here. I will be talking about the Day of the Devs and the Wholesome Direct, and maybe the show that's after that. I don't know. But on Saturday, I'll have more to talk about. That's going to wrap up any minute, so we don't want to raid that. When did they start streaming? How long has Remap been going? Oh, I believe Remap is probably done. Yes, they're saying good night. So we're not rating Remap Radio because it looks like they're closing off for the night, which makes sense. They've been streaming for like 4 hours. So let's see. How long has P2 been streaming? P2 has only been streaming for 2 hours. We're going to go raid my friend P2, my buddy Mitch, who is playing Alan Wake Remastered. That's fun. So we'll go give P2 a raid. Feel free to come along on this raid. Go hang out with P2. He's great, and you'll have a good time there. So we'll go do that. Hit the /raid. Great. So we're going to come on this raid. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you come back on Saturday as I continue to work on this Lego set, finish this up, and start something new, either more Lego or doing some model kits, some action figure model kits. Thanks all so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your night. I'll see you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Thanks, VODs. Goodbye.